Welcome to Sips and Spirits, a podcast for those who love spirits of both the alcoholic and spectral kinds. I am your hostess, Chelsea.
And I'm her co-host, Eric. Am I co-host or coast? Or just host?
Coast.
Coast. Where, coaster? Always put coaster in your cup so your wife might kill you.
Yeah. So, cheers.
Wait, what?
Oh,
No,
just kidding.
You're getting ahead of your game, girl.
I'm ready. I want to drink
this.
it. Okay.
Little disclaimer before we get started.
Mm-hmm.
We're not historians. Any facts or stories presented are from various sources, and we make no claims that these tales are true. We just found them to be spooky and interesting in nature. And I'll just say, looking for the stories, it's it's kind of interesting, like trying to get more into that when we actually get the story to it. But yeah.
Yeah. And we are not professional mixologists, not yet. I am working on my mixology certification. However, we have created a very special cocktail for this episode, inspired by today's cryptid selection, which means, obviously, because we had to create the cocktail, we did taste it ahead of time. So unlike our other episodes where we're trying the spirit for the first time on the spot, instead you guys are getting a sampling of after we've kind of mastered the cocktail.
Yeah, so we got all the kinks out and then we made a cocktail.
Right.
It looks pretty.
And so with that, this is the new part of our episodes now, our podcasts, what we're working in. So every other episode, as we mentioned in the last episode, we'll be doing it based off of one of the cards from Clash of the Cryptids. Like, wrote it and talked about it so many times. Now I can't keep it in mind. So that's our new shtick.
A new shtick we're gonna.
So on all our even number episodes, I guess you guys can look forward to a new cocktail from us.
Cryptid.
Yes, and it'll be inspired by a cryptid that we pulled.
Yep.
And yeah. So you want to go ahead and jump into that?
Yeah, so once again, these cards come from Clash of the Cryptids. This fancy looking box right there. Ooh, look at that. A deck from Afterlight Comics published from the UK. And today's lovely cryptid comes from the land of Latin America, Chupacabra. Okay, and I'm just going to read out the description that they wrote for this. With sightings reported in Puerto Rico, the name Chupacabra comes from the animal's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, including goats. It is a heavy creature the size of a small bear with a row of spikes reaching from the neck to the base of the tails. And so we made a cocktail based on that little lovely creature.
This
let me show you.
Goat blood sucker. I'll be sure to edit in. So if you're watching this on YouTube, as always, whenever we have something visual, I do try to edit it in so you guys can see it in better detail.
Yes.
Because sometimes the cameras in this setup that we have doesn't always pick up how we want. So I feel like since this is our first episode doing this, we're probably going to change things around. I feel like now would be a good time to cheers, and then we talk about the cocktail. So, or even I'm almost wondering, maybe we should tell them where they can find the recipe.
Sure.
On social media, we will be announcing the cocktail ingredients before.
Where can we find this lovely, beautiful color cocktail? There's like 3 colors in here.
I know, I love it. So you'll be able to find this cocktail. My brain totally gave
it. I was like looking at me for a second, like, what is that? I don't know.
Deer in the headlights. Look, like, what was I saying? It'll be on our Sips and Spirits website. We'll have a special tab called Cocktails. You just click on that and it'll pull up all our original made cocktails that we have made either for parties or for these special episodes. And it'll have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say for this cocktail, before you drink it looks pretty just by itself. You should mix it.
Right.
Spin a little bit.
So you present it unstirred and then you go ahead and stir it. Actually, I feel like we do need the stir sticks for this to really get it mixed.
Mine's working well.
Oh, okay. Well, we weren't sure. We were still kind of fine tuning this cocktail.
Well, What's in this cocktail?
So we're debating. We added a blood orange simple syrup, and we debated between a half ounce and an ounce. So in this episode, we actually have Eric has a full ounce of blood orange syrup, and I have a half ounce.
I just like it sweeter.
Okay, that's definitely the ice. I'm like, what? Sounds like, yeah. I swear it sounds like a little kid crying. I'm like, is that our kids? Okay, so in this, obviously we have the blood orange simple syrup. We have some mint, muddled mint, and lime wedges that were muddled with the mint. Limon, Bacardi rum, white rum, and Jarritos lime flavor.
Jarritos lime flavor.
Am I still saying it wrong?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Cheers.
All right, so cheers. Yeah, we'll fine tune this a little better for you guys so you're not like listening to our slurps.
Slurp.
I think we've got it with the other one now.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of back and forthing. But yeah, so it was really fun coming up with a cocktail for this.
Yes,
wouldn't you say?
like we were thinking about it a lot. The one thing we wanted to make sure there was red in there.
Mm-hmm.
We had blood orange syrup. And I know you don't like strawberry stuff.
Right.
I love cherry flavor, but I can get too much for sometimes.
Well, and sometimes you get that like synthetic cherry flavor.
So we had the blood orange, and I was like, cool. And then we, because Chupacabra is a very Latin American cryptid.
Mm-hmm.
And at least from our research, we found out that mojitos are very popular in Puerto Rico.
Right, and we were like, mojito kind of sounded, because at first we were debating, like, do we want to do a margarita style? But there's so many margaritas out there, and I'm sure there's tons of different, like, mojito variants too,
Yeah.
But then we were just talking about it, and for some reason, I don't know why, with the Chupacabra, I always have green, like, associated with it, even though, yeah, it's a bloodsucker, for some reason in my mind, it's like a green creature.
Okay.
I don't know why. So I was like really obsessing about the green, and we're looking at the mojitos, and I was like, what if we did the Mexican lime soda in there, and instead of doing like a club soda, or sometimes people do like a lemon lime soda. So we gave it a try, and it actually was like a really nice touch.
Yeah, like everything was combined very well, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And this drink's one of our dangerous drinks. You can like pound this and like be like, ooh, I'm done. Kind of then like get another one, kind of thing. Add 2 ounces of rum in each one. You can get yourself a nice little buzz going very quickly.
Very quickly.
But yeah, no, it's a very good drink. We're very happy with it, and hopefully the rest go this easily smooth.
Yeah, we hope so. But yeah, so that's kind of, we'd picked the mojito because mojito is one of the national drinks of Puerto Rico. And I know it's also a popular choice in Mexico. It's at least for touristy areas.
Yes.
You'll see it a lot.
Like most restaurants, you go to Mexico, you have margaritas, mojitos.
Right, exactly.
I think it's like that's what the basic standard everybody has kind of thing. Kind of like when you come up here, you go to like a Chili's or whatever, you have like, margaritas of course, but you have like, what's that? Sex on the Beach. It's pretty popular in a lot of places because like, ooh, it sounds so fancy.
Right. Well, and so I'm really happy that we.
Tequila Sunrise. There we go. That's the one.
Oh, there you go. Like, ended up going with trying to do a different take on the mojito versus margarita.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where our whole mindset was with that. And then we picked Bacardi as the rum to use. Excuse me. Because it also has a lot of roots in Puerto Rico. I believe that's where its tasting room is. It's like a visitor center tasting room is. So if you want to know more about that, the next episode 13, we'll talk all about Bacardi rum because it's actually our featured liquor for the next episode.
You guys get a double feature of Bacardi.
Yeah. which was also a very lovely cocktail. And why we happen to have the blood orange syrup laying around.
Yep.
So, and then as we mentioned with the jarritos, we picked the lime one when it's got this bright electric, almost like Hulk green
Yep.
to it. And it's hard to see in this light, but I'll throw up a picture like during the daytime. It makes this really cool like green to red
Yeah.
mix. And then you have like the muddled lime and the mint thrown in there.
The cool thing about this is if you don't like the Jarritos lime, it doesn't need that much. You can put as much as you want in it. I top mine off with the lime soda just because I like the taste of it and whatnot. So it's like, to your tastings kind of thing. But everything else tastes pretty good by itself or together.
Right.
And whatnot.
Yeah. So that's about... spitting on the mic. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That's about it for the ingredients in here.
Yeah.
It's a very simple cocktail. One thing we would say is because you do add the whole mix from the cocktail shaker, including the ice, when you fill your glass with ice after you add the syrup, hold off.
Don't put too much ice.
Don't fill the whole glass with ice. Clean ice. Fill it maybe, depending on the glass you have, a quarter
or less
to a third. No more than that.
Quarter to 30, yeah.
Of ice, because whatever ice you put in the shaker, now you could go a little bit lighter on the ice in the shaker, but I recommend having a little bit more to really kind of do an extra muddle of the mint and the lime.
And get everything nice and cold.
Yeah.
And if you don't have your stuff chilled beforehand, chill your room. It's good. But yeah. You ready to jump into a story?
I am.
Okay.
So
before I get started, and I realized I was going to start looking for Chupacabra stories, and I know it's going to happen for other ones. If I didn't encounter stories for this, like true versions of it, it's going to be like trying to find like account stories of Bigfoot, like people actually seeing Bigfoot kind of thing. It's all going to be like, it's going to be like seeing like corner of their eye or like something in the shadows kind of thing, or like what they think it is and that sort of thing. And so that's going to be interesting, to just to find stories kind of thing on it. But overall, it's gonna be fun to see how many different encounter stories you can find and whatnot. And then, if you have any local stories, if we talk about a cryptid close to your home, let us know, kind of thing.
right.
That's just a fun interaction to people. Be like, hey, I heard about this from my uncle, or I live around here, and then we have this little tale about it, and whatnot, kind of thing. But yeah, so I found a story. You want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, especially because you'll find out about the cryptid in the previous episode. So when the previous episode comes out.
If you want to share your story, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know what you know. Let's go hunt together.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
Anywho, so I found a story on Reddit, and I'm just gonna read it off what the person wrote on it. It's kind of interesting, in the aspect of things. Okay, starts out with the description of somebody in the story, so we'll go from there, and then we'll move on from the actual story. Okay. He's a chief warrant officer with 30 years in the Navy, and a hunter since he was 12. He has seen the world, been in combat, and spent more time in the woods than I have been alive. What I'm trying to say is he's a salty mother who doesn't scare easy. Anyways, I met Bill through my father, who is also in the Navy, and got talking about how I go hunting wild pigs on my uncle's dairy farm just south of Jacksonville, Florida. We generally go out in pairs at night, one person manning a 2 million candlelight spotlight and the other man in the shooter. We roam the cornfields until we hear animals rustling around, hit the spotlight, bang, 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 rinse and repeat. So one relatively cold January night, we get a group together for some good old hog shooting. Bill and I go out to the field where he saw some fresh tracks early in the day and camped out. There was no moon out and a bit of cloudy, so it was as dark as you can get in Florida. Perfect conditions to see some pigs. Sure enough, we hear some rustling and grunting, and Bill hits the spotlight, revealing 5 decent-sized pigs. I raise my Martin lever action 30-30 and fire at the lead pig and down him with a shot behind the ear. One of the better shots I've made. One of the better shots I've made, to be honest. Smoke from a muzzle briefly obscured my view, but Bills yells out their location and tracks them with the light. I get off about 3 blind shots and hope for the best, but they go high. The pigs take off directly away from us and get to the train line, so Bill and I stand there surveying the scene, ears ringing, adrenaline pumping. We see the downed pig, share a fist bump, and laugh and start walking towards it. As soon as we take a step, we hear a scream from behind us, a long, rag, angry scream. It was loud and it was close. I freeze and look at Bill, but he's looking back at me with the same look, confused and fear. I ask him, "What the F was that?" He replies, "Shit!" He shines the light behind us slowly, scanning to the open field and trees beyond us and sees nothing. He starts to say something when he hears the scream again, closer, louder, and longer. If you want to know what it sounds like, next time you go to a football game or a concert, you might scream and holler and wind up losing your voice. When you wake up feeling hoarse and raspy, scream as loud as you can for 5 seconds. That is what it sounds like. Bill immediately says, "Give me your pistol. We need to get out of here." I hand him my 45. What about the pig? F the pig. Now we are about a mile away from the car on 1,000 acres on dairy farm with some kind of demon screeching at us at 2 a.m. in the pitch black. We start to panic. What begins as a brisk walk and carefully scanning the 360 turns into a steady shuffle, into a light jog, into a full-on sprint. I don't remember if there was any more screaming, but my adrenaline was turned up to 11 and my focus was 2 steps ahead of me and nothing getting left behind. We make it back to the truck without incidents and hightail back to my uncle's house. On the ride home, we have a calm discussion about what just happened. What the hell was that? I don't effing know, but effing way that was a hog. I'm sure as heck it wasn't. To cap it all off, we get back to my uncle's house, and the other guys had heard the shots and were waiting for an update. Standing around the bonfire. To his credit, Bill played it off cool as I had the death grip on my beer, eyes bulging, seeing monsters in every shadow. "Yeah, we left the pigs out there. We'll get in the morning." "Say, Uncle, we heard a pretty funny noise. Sounded pretty funny." "Oh, did you?" "Yeah, raccoons can make some pretty interesting ones." "I'm pretty sure it wasn't a raccoon. Kinda sounded like a person screaming." "Oh, that." "Yeah, I've heard it a few times. We don't know what it is. We call it the Chupacabra." And that was that. Been out there many times after, and thank the Lord I've never encountered it again. But if I don't think about it constantly when I'm out there. Ian.
Ooh.
The Chupacabra.
You were like in a rush to tell that story. It's okay.
Sometimes I just get excited when I'm reading. I just like try to get
Yeah, no.
It's like I read and I talk and then like my reading. I try to keep my talking to my reading, but my reading goes faster. So it's like.
Yeah, no. Just take a breath when you feel like you might be speeding.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it. I had a little hard time keeping track because it was going so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But ooh.
The Chupacabra.
In Florida?
Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
It's funny we were talking about Mexico and Puerto Rico, and then I know you mentioned Texas too.
It's
but Florida as well, huh? Anywhere you have
farmland. I mean, you think about it, like even like yeah, Florida is kind of far from Mexico and Puerto Rico stuff, but like, if you think like
but like Florida does have a large Latin American community.
Mm-hmm.
As well.
I'm probably thinking more like closer to like inland. I guess Louisiana's next to it. I don't remember. What's the state next to Florida?
Yeah.
The little
Louisiana.
The little like flat part on the left. That's what I'm thinking it was. I think it's
Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida.
Jacksonville. Okay, never mind. That's more center.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you are gonna have more
farmlands. But that's the thing with cryptids, you never know what they're going to be.
Uh-huh. Well, I keep thinking of, I think it was called Phantasmagoria or something.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, like that. We had watched it. I think it's still on HBO. And they're like animated horror movies, and they're all like lore from Latin America. No, it's on HBO.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I remember what you're talking about.
Which highly recommend. Very interesting. You get a lot of the different kinds of
That was the one with
boogeyman.
the guy talking.
The old man,
Yeah,
yeah.
telling stories. Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. You get the classics like Llorona, and you get some other ones that are pretty cool.
They have the Chupacabra,
Mm-hmm.
the Whistler,
The Whistler,
which I can't think of what it's called.
El Symbol, Simblon.
I think it had a different name, but
Something like that.
yeah, a bunch of different ones like that.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about something you mentioned earlier about the Chupacabra being green.
Oh,
So I remember as a child. I can't tell you if it's like actual like news channel or like some like, you know, Esquire like kind of like like hokey like news channel. But
like National Enquirer kind of thing.
Like, but I remember seeing it on TV, and my dad wasn't like a BS kind of guy. Like he doesn't watch like like he watched news and he watched wrestling. No, wrestling is fake, but like that's what he watched kind of thing. It wasn't like he was watching like fantasy stories or like horror movies and stuff. So it was that. And I remember as a kid hearing about the Chupacabra in the news, and so I was like, I'm like, man, this is national stuff. Like, what's going on, kind of thing. And I think that's kind of it intrigued me, the whole like aspect of the cryptic and supernatural kind of thing. I vividly remember a video of some creature like flying through the sky, and somebody shot it, and they showed what it looked like, and it's like they thought that was a Chupacabra kind of thing, and it was just like, so when you mentioned the whole green aspect of the Chupacabra, there was a lot of talk, because you have the farmers encountering the Chupacabra and be like, this is what we think it is. This is some demon from the farmland because we're not praying to the gods properly or whatever, blah, 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 and this and that. But then you have other people going, aliens. The Chupacabra was an alien coming to Earth, and you had like the whole like taking of the cows. This is another alien. It's something else they did it, in that aspect of things. So I feel that in some of the descriptions, like I feel like in Scooby-Doo, when they do the Chupacabra episode, he's green kind of thing, and so all the alien descriptions are green. And some of them are described as a blue kind of dog kind of thing, creature. Some of them have spikes. I remember being some like weird winged cat in my memory, stuff like that video kind of thing. So it's always like been kind of like different in that aspect of things.
Well, yeah, it has a lot of the description of it is very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a book of like monsters. Cryptid wasn't really a well used term when I was little, or frequently used term, not well used. And I feel like in the book, like they described it as being almost like it looked like a cat or a dog kind of creature, but it was like scaly, with spikes. So reptilian, but mammalistic in its body shape.
Like a freaking platypus.
Right. So
I feel like the spikes have been something consistent with most of the descriptions that had like a spikes kind of thing, or like a little like jagged spine kind of thing. And that one last kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think it's just from whenever I remember specifically, like I have the memory of holding a book and reading, like my finger trailing along the sentence. This sounds so crazy, like out of a movie, but
no, but I have
and having like that dark green scaly features, like a lizard skin.
But I have the same memory, like of me sitting at my dining room table, the TV is right there, and I can see that I'm playing like right now, playing that image of like the flying cat thing. It's like, that was interesting kind of thing. And then once upon a time, we went to visit my brother in San Isidro. That's a border town right next to Mexico. Literally, you can see Mexico from his backyard. Well, Tijuana, but still Mexico kind of thing. And the hotel we stayed at, we saw something odd to us. It was a pickup truck, not like a huge pickup truck either, like a tiny pickup truck, with like a giant cage full of goats.
Like the cage was packed full. It was like almost comedic.
Yeah, like it was like one of those things where you like shove them as much as you can, and then like there's something like legs popping out of the cage or whatever.
And this was like a makeshift wire cage, guys. It wasn't like like something you bought at a store. It was like not chicken wire, but chain link. There we go.
Somebody made it the night before. It didn't go buy it at like zoo store or something. This thing was packed with like goats, and we're like, that's kind of weird.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Going to bed, we were like, this is really weird.
We go to sleep. Next morning, truck's still there.
Hasn't moved.
Hasn't moved. Goat's gone.
Goats are all gone. There's no goats in the truck bed.
Now, did the Chupacabra come and take him? Was the Chupacabra sacrifice? I don't know. But that was kind of like, huh.
It was so funny because we're getting in the car because we were leaving early like that morning because it was like first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
The sun was, it was still like that dusk.
The dusky kind of foggy kind of thing.
In the morning. So, and we were looking at that truck and as we're driving away, we were both like turned to each other like, so is that a sacrifice for Chupacabra? We laughed because we were both thinking.
The same thing kind of thing. But that was kind of like a funny encounter. But that's the thing with cryptids is like, you never know until you actually like encounter them and whatnot. Like, it's like spotting Bigfoot. It's like, oh, I saw him and my camera was so shaky I couldn't take a straight picture. Kind of thing. Same thing with the Chupacabra. Like every picture you see is all like shaky pictures and and whatnot. So it's kind of interesting in that aspect of things. But yeah, what's next?
That was fun. So next we're gonna play a little game.
Little game. So we used to have, I guess, would you rather. Now.
Right. So during story time, Eric would open up story time with a would you rather. But now I get to shine because I don't get too much to talk about in these episodes.
No.
So I was like, hey.
Look at you. You're so pretty.
Can I do a little something? So it's a little version of Guess Who. So I'm going to give you guys clues for what the cryptid is going to be for our next cocktail episode. But you won't have to wait until that episode to find out what it's going to be because we'll be pulling the card in the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know what the card is going to be, and I'm going to give you the clues, and you'll have 2 weeks.
4 weeks.
2 weeks to guess.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right.
Right. And then if you don't want to tune in to the next episode, then you go to episode 14 and find out what the next cryptid's going to be.
Yep.
But yeah.
Fun times.
Thought it would be something a little fun and different to do. And I love writing riddles, so.
Riddle me this.
All right.
You get your Riddler hat.
I get a cryptid hat to put it on. I don't know. Something. Okay, anyways. Am I a bear or a wolf from the Middle Coast sticks? I've been spotted along a rural road since 1936. From the many you may ask, I've given quite a fright. Still, I haven't harmed a single human wandering at night.
Okay, there could be Dr. Seuss. Gonna make a Dr. Seuss story about cryptids.
I liked it. I was
Good
very
job.
proud of
That
it.
was very good job.
Yeah. So, and you know what it is, so don't spoil it. But
I do.
those are good clues, yeah?
Those are good clues, yeah. From what I've been looking for on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that,
that ends our episode.
we wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Oh,
okay.
this went fast.
It does go fast.
It felt fast, didn't it?
It did. Thanks for sipping along with us. We want to keep the spirits flowing, so please be sure to show your support by reviewing and subscribing to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, be sure to share with others. Once again, we have a new cocktail.
Yeah.
Made by us truly. If somebody made this cocktail before, do let us know. Kind of thing. We'll give them credit too. Kind of thing. But at least from our research, we kind of just like.
We just looked up different ways to make mojitos, and then we looked into a way to kind of make it our own.
Yeah, kind of thing.
So we didn't take it from anybody.
At least, so we got some ideas from different mojitos and put it together to make this one.
Right.
So yeah, we get a new cocktail. You can try it with your friends. Not hard to do. Very fun. And you can share with stories kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, we get to find out about cryptids. You get to find out about interesting liquors. And yeah, check us out.
So if you do make this cocktail, share it with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. But we are also have our website where you can always use our contact form. We even have a suggestion box for liquors. On our, I believe it's on our cocktail page as well, but also on our podcast page. And as always, our podcast can be found on any podcast host. I think the only one we aren't on, because I'm still waiting on it, is Pandora's podcast platform. But otherwise, we can be found pretty much everywhere else. We also put up a video version on YouTube. So if you're more of a visual listener, like we tend to be, you can find us there.
You can see Chelsea dressed up all nicely and me in my rags.
Him in his comfy clothes, me trying to make my outfit thematic.
And doll herself up.
Hey, I'm at home, Mom. This is my only chance to have an excuse to everyone see me.
But anyway, we hope to catch you around the bar next time.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.